and it was like an opportunity meeting for the company. And, I had obviously knew my parents were very successful in the business, but I just had never thought that it was something that I could do. And there was a 25-year-old guy on that call that day, and my dad happened to have it on speakerphone. So I heard this guy's story, and he was 25 years old, and he said the month before he made $1,500. And, that was like something for me. I was like, okay, my thought process was if this guy's 25 making $1,500, I'm 19, maybe I could make $1,000. So, I looked at my father and I said, I think I can do that. And he looked very surprised because I'd never shown any interest in the business. And then he looked me in the eyes and he said, well, I know you can, but would you? So I got started part time, and it was amazing. What happened? Just working part time from my dorm. Made around $400 my first day. I had all these products in the trunk of my car, and I remember driving back to school, going, "Oh my gosh, what have I got myself into?" And I had some friends in the sororities at school, and I asked one of them if I could go to lunch with her the next day. Went to lunch and just started sharing about the products I had, sold them all. I remember I called my dad that night and I said, "Look, I'm out of products. I need more." And there was like this silence for a few seconds. And then he said, "Well, who stole them?" And I said, "No, you're not going to believe what happened." And so then my friends that were all making fun of me for starting this business, selling weight loss products, they had all kind of nicknames for me, but they still
Yeah.
kept seeing the money that I was making from retailing the product. So after a while, they decided not to make fun of me and to join me. And we found their friends from high school that went to other universities. And yeah, it just took off. And it was hard to go to class before, but as I built my business, eventually I was making, I think, more than most of my professors probably. And, but nobody in my family had a college education. And so that was kind of important. And, I remember, at graduation, I remember being after graduation, going to eat dinner with my mother and father. And I remember my father saying, "Look, you're the first person, you've got a college education, you want to go get a job, do that, that's what you should do if you want." And my
Mhm.
dad, he was lying when he said that. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
if I wouldn't have joined him in network marketing, it would have destroyed him. But I said, "What do you think? I'm stupid?" That
Yeah.
was prior to that. I really didn't realize how amazing this industry was because
Mhm.
as a 19, 20-year-old kid, you don't really know what people are making out in the job market. So, but then when I was graduating and I was getting some job offers and my friends were getting job offers and people were like, "Man, you got a job offer. You're going to be making 35,000 a year." And they were like excited about that. And I'm like, "What?
What?
That's what people get excited about?" So that was really like for me when I was like, "Man, this industry, I'm definitely not gonna, I'm for sure." So, that's when I went full time with this business and have never looked back.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're like, did you say per month or per year?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, how can I survive like that?
You're like, "Hold on, let me divide that by 12 and see how broke am I gonna be?"
Exactly.
That would have been
So
quite a step down in lifestyle for you.
that would have been rough. That would have been rough.
I don't think Mamie would have liked it either.
No, no.
I don't think that would have been for her.